Hey guys, I begged everyone's pardon this morning. I see that I'm not quite ready. I wear all the hats here, so I'm still trying to get you in the photo. Lady Hippy here. Once again, we are at the bar. I know it's early. What did I say? I'm older and retired. It's pretty cool. Well, that, and I'm too lazy to throw everything out in the spare room, which is supposed to be my studio. And apparently, I will have to do that because my husband is busy. So he's got time right now. And actually, in the summertime, he's busier than normal. And yes, I'm fidgeting. I always fidget when I get up, and my hair's not doing it. My hair never does right. Anyway, guys, it is for entertainment purposes only. And if you get a chance, if you like the content, it's Social Woodstock. It's free. Subscribe, hit the bell. You guys know the drill. Like, you can even throw a dislike in there. Bring it. So, generally, I get up here and I fuss and I moan and I fidget. Yeah, it's a thing. I can tell by my sound that we are really too high here. And unfortunately, I still have that parade ground voice that just echoes. Even my husband says, "When you're mad, everybody knows." Well, we're coming up on Father's Day. Well, damn. So rough month for my son because he was notified that his biological father passed over the holiday weekend. So I'm really kind of worried about him. I don't like to bother him through the week because they work 70-hour weeks, and I don't want to take up time that they're trying to get dinner and so forth because my granddaughter's only 11, though she is approaching 12 in August. It's amazing. She's the same height as me already. She's 12 or going to 12. But I love her to pieces. She's just such a. My grandson, who's 25, is my son had a child from a different young lady. I knew both of them through high school, so I knew these girls before they married, long before my son and his wife married. Long, great kids, wonderful guys. The one young lady I even helped get ready for it was her sister that my son married. One young lady. The other young lady, her sister, was dating his best friend, who was also his best man at the wedding. So there was all that in it, unfortunately. Her sister, his best friend's wife, passed away um, due to, I believe it was anaphylactic shock. She was so young. Her child was only 2. And my daughter-in-law, as she is now, her sister, had they had not been married long, I think the child was 2 or 3 years old. My girl. So it's been a rough few years for everyone, I'm sure. It's never easy to go through all of that. I try to think about I'm going to be ready so my son won't be, burdened by all of those things. And then you look at stuff and you go, well, the government makes sure they're in the grieving process and doing stuff the whole time. If you leave them something, if they inherit, there's 2 death taxes on that. I think we surpassed England on the taxes front. I'm not sure. But enough about that. We have we have learned this morning that former President Donald Trump has been charged guilty on all 34 counts. Now, I don't know how that works out because he wasn't guilty of many of them. He might have been guilty of some, but there was a lot of made up shit in there. Everybody knows that. Um, how do you take a former president to court? Well, they showed that. How you take a former president to jail? Well, we're about to probably see that too because they've been wanting to do this to him for 10 years. Yeah, he's a threat. He doesn't play the good old boy game in DC. And he's a businessman like no other, pretty much. I mean, this guy has been there his whole life. His parents were there his whole life and before, and his grandparents as well. So these things were handed down to him. He's handed down to Barron, bless his heart, who's decided to go into politics. I hope it's anger because of the system. It's so broken that they can do this and not feel that the American people as a whole would be angry for one and embarrassed for two. So we live in that free nation as long as you can make up shit and get away with it. And we know that they did to begin with. All through his presidency, they were trying to impeach him twice on charges that they made up and they knew they made them up. So I don't know how many people know about that one, but I don't really give a blooming damn who wins because generally it's just as bad as the one you got out or worse. Case in point. What can you do? Send the Blackhawks. I'm tired. This is social Woodstock. I'm going to tell you what I damn well feel. I had my stiffener this morning, girls. And so, off with that one, we've also heard, all of us, I'm sure, that they wish to send a warrant out for Prime Minister Netanyahu for crimes against humanity. Yeah, where the hell's Biden is a good one, but in particular, where is President Putin's warrant? He has openly attacked a country that had done nothing to him. He has killed thousands of civilians. Thousands of civilians. Let me say that again. Thousands of civilians. He attacked them without provocation. He just wanted the damn country. Big ass country. Breadbasket. Why wouldn't you want that if you were the president of Russia? Because there's no bounds and checks on Russia. Everyone knows that as well. Russia. Gotta love them. I love seeing those. They all have dash cams on their cars. I love those clips where somebody pretends to be hit a pedestrian, a car. I've seen both. Funny as hell if it's on camera. And they get out of their car and beat the snot out of them. I don't care which one it is. It's just a car and they jerk them out. Russia, brings up a lot of memories from when I was young. And Russia was supposedly our enemy, which they were never our enemy. I don't know why they went along with that for so long, but that was just another way to spend money that we didn't know where it was going, and we can't say how to get there. So there's that. So they've arrested, or want to arrest one who never even took a paycheck when he was president, but he was a threat to the good old boys. He wanted term limits for one. Now he can get that through because they were just, it was all over white rice for him. I don't know how he stayed in there. I really don't, because even the reporters were absolutely vicious and insulting every day. And he went just about every day. If he was in the White House, he had a press conference. Now, have you seen a freaking press conference from this piece of shit? There you have it. Because the bastard can't read. He's too blind and he can't say anything because he's too old and he's already senile. Where is Biden? Where is his stuff? Where is his arresting? Nothing? No impeachment? Nothing? Okay. Well, he's clearly implicated in the Hunter Biden, his son's laptop, which mysteriously, since 2016, has not, mind you, 2016, 8 years now, that they've had more than enough proof that both this seated president, which is a sour taste in my mouth, and his son colluded even. They love that word, colluded. So they colluded to get a lot of freaking money from a lot of places trading on daddy's name. There's a clip with Biden himself. I'm going to go with the big guy, which is what they call his sorry ass. 45 years in government, still can't pass a damn thing other than let's leave the border open. I mean, I'm serious. What are Americans going to, what the shit? Why are you prosecuting this when you have the Biden laptop? You've got Hunter Biden laptop. You've got clips of this dude at a regular talk that he got paid for, where he's addressing whatever student body or whoever it was. And he's in a chair and he's talking and he says that Ukraine made him angry. The president of this gas company made him so angry that he told him he had to fire the top guy. And when they said they didn't have a reason to do so, he told them, this is out of his own mouth, he told them they had an hour to do it or they would take away the funds. I don't know what funds were going. And I don't know why they were going to begin with. There's also that possibility should be investigated. But he says they called him back and they fired the guy. Nothing. I mean, you could hear a freaking pin drop. What is wrong with everybody out there? This is why I wanted to do social, and I haven't given up on social Woodstock because we don't freaking agree. We didn't elect this bastard. We didn't elect any bastard. Might have elected Trump because that was sure as hell a surprise to Hillary. Every time I think of that, I like to have been a fly on the wall to see that bitch's face. Yeah. Uh-huh. The same bench that stood there when Jennifer Flowers, he was screwing around with for his 2 terms as governor, paid her off. Don't see that going to court. Let's see. Oh, yeah. And the Monica Lewinsky thing while he was in the Oval Office, freaking off. Stood right there with him, just with her man. Didn't matter how long or who he was having an affair with. She was okay with that. You got to wonder what that's about. How many times did that former President Clinton go to Epstein's Island? Not Hillary, not the bitch, just him. Yeah, on the Lolita Express. You know that plane. Yeah. How many times did he freaking go? Why isn't he up on charges? Why isn't she? Do you know that this broad was so bad that when they were in the White House, that the Secret Service had to jump in closets because she didn't want to see him? Ah, the bitch slapped her. I'm right the freak here. I had a stiffener. So, what can I say? Yeah, it's a free country. Hmm. Your vote counts. Really? Now, I know we all have a brain. We are not stupid. We might be hippies. We might be baby boomers. We might even be scared of your shit. Personally, I'm not. There's no point. You're going to take that shit if you want to. Anyway, y'all have done for many decades now. People forgot about that shit. Look up Farm Aid. Yeah, I'm hearing them Black Hawk start up. And we may go dark in a minute. I don't know. Yeah, it gets my last nerve that none of us are talking about this shit. You know, uh, even if I mean, and the presidents in these universities, they're still freaking sitting there. What the heck for? I mean, sugar already. I mean, trying not to cuss my full head off. I'm not good at not doing that. My husband says, "You cuss too much. I'll screw you." So I'm old. I'm tired, and I'm sassy. I was always tired and sassy. Old. I'm getting used to it. By the way, ladies, these cameras do not put 10 pounds on you. No, not in, no. Honey, they put 20 to 30 pounds on. Just saying, recognize. I'm doing really well. I'm, entertainment only. That's why I jump up here. Social Woodstock, entertainment. Da, da, da. I can't dance. I could dance. You probably would not want to see someone this will dance. However, you got the moves. You're just real slow. So I see my mic has to wander a little bit this morning too. I sat back some. I love these bar chairs. It's trying to keep them clean is always a problem. They actually touch the floor, so I cleaned for 2 days straight. And two of the cats that I was boarding, her mama picked them up yesterday, and I had everything ready so she could pick it up. She bought 2 new carriers because I was going to loan her one of mine because they went from kittens to grown in my care. It was almost 4 months, I think. And but she had to start over, get an apartment. The boyfriend took all kinds of stuff, so she had to stay with her mother down the block, so she could see the cats. But her mother had several big dogs, and she didn't want her cats in there. I think she might have told her daughter, "Don't bring the cats." I don't know which, but I like her mom. Her mom's pretty cool, young woman, still in her 40s. She works at home, so yeah. She knows I like a stiffener every once in a while. She'll come by and get a margarita. It's a bar. That's what we do. You got to admit, being retired, what do you want when you retire? Well, I could have gone with a pool table too. I still might. But yeah, a bar is right up on the list. Yeah. In particular today, you cannot go especially before noon, which I tend to have days that start well before noon. But you can't do that. You gotta go out, have a couple of drinks, come back. You can go out and get a mimosa downtown, a couple of those, but they cost $15 a freaking piece. Yeah, I can make them suckers right here for about $12.50. Make it about $1 a glass, $2. Same with the margaritas. If you make them at home, well, it's not so easy to make them at home and really think about it unless you have a bar. We have a fully equipped bar, ice machine, everything here, sinks and so forth. So it's fully a working bar, and it's big. It's perfect. Right now I said a lot, didn't I? Sorry about that. Uh, and I broadcast from the bar. I'm on the end of the bar against the wall here and make sure I have that side open in case anybody pops through. I'll shove a microphone at them. I would probably edit out of here and go ahead and attach it later after I get ready to film. But yeah, usually I try to get through here before I get anything else going. If you subscribe, you'll get a little ding, of course. That's why you hit the bell. I get the ding. You don't have to listen then. You can listen later. You don't have to listen at all. If you don't want to subscribe, throw me a bone, hit the like if you've seen even a minute of it. I should say that at the top, right? Oh, I'm still into my coffee this morning. Like I said, I already had my stiffener. For those of you who are new, my stiffener is what they used to call my parents, who were basically grandparent age. I was adopted. They were great people. My dad was World War II. So they were from during the Depression, World War One, and then able to work, well, serve in World War II. My mother got to work, is why I thought of that. She didn't get to work before or after. When the men came home, they took the jobs back. They had to. Unfortunately, most of the women then lost theirs. So, she was always sorrowful that she didn't get to stay in the workforce. And she was proud of me because we were the first company of women to serve with the men, and the WAC Corps, the Women's Auxiliary Corps, was taken out. And so we were all regular army, and she was proud of that. And I was too, being one of the first in the company. I ran the first. I had the most rank. I had rank. They didn't have any rank. So when they screwed up, I got it 60 ways from hell. So just saying. But Mom was proud of that. And like I said, I was too. And I miss her dreadfully to this day. But she was always a little bit, she would pass out if you had a lot of blood around her. And I had been injured a couple of times, but there was a lot of blood. I had to treat myself, because they did not do hospitals. Doctors still made house calls, but they were too expensive. And my parents got a stipend from the state for each child, so it was 100 and some odd dollars per child every month till they were 18. So there was the house payment. They got the house. They had been in an apartment. We were just foster children then. Then they got the house, and my adopted brother got the house. That was really their nephew. My adopted brother was. So they paid the people so much for him because they had 13 children, and the mother had slapped the baby off her lap so hard he had landed across the room, and they were above my parents' apartment. My mother ran up there and found the baby and knew what happened and said she wouldn't give the baby back. So they said, you pay us X amount of dollars and we'll let you keep the baby. We'll sign the papers. Back then, apparently, it was easy to adopt. I had more trouble adopting one of the cats. So, but yeah, that was that. So back to a stiffener. This little background there. The stiffener was if she saw too much blood, she would get queasy, and sometimes she would faint, depending how much blood she could not take blood. And so they would get a stiffener. And one of them would yell, "Get the brandy," or whatever it was, but I think it was brandy. And it was always up there. She would never take it. She liked Ginny Fizz, though, when they had guests. They had a band that would go. It was a lot of fun. We used to sneak by and drink their drinks when they were up dancing and stuff. We were not good kids in some ways. So, anyway, they would give her what they called the stiffener. And she would drink that. And she was, usually take one, sometimes two. Hey, Ma. So, I grew up with that as something the women got. And unfortunately for me, I've never ever been able to faint. Wanted to many times. Kept thinking, why has the world stopped and I can't faint? Yeah, every one of us goes through something where the whole world seems to be torn apart. You can't faint. Mom would see a speck of blood faint. I think she was practicing that one. So in any event, I'm like, okay. So I'm going to start doing that when I feel up to this, or the other. And it works. For sometimes I don't know about the rest of us, but I'll go around and look at the house and go, I just don't want to do this today. And I take that stiffener, and by the time I think about it, I'm all done. So, I mean, sometimes it's difficult. I think other women, or even stay at home men, or whoever does the house cleaning, maybe it's a maid. I don't know. Never had one of those. It's always been, I'm the maid. I'm the bottom washer, and the sweeper, the mopper, the vacuumer. Yeah, I get tired. And he put in the wood floors for me. I had literally shampooed the carpet so much it was just nap in some areas because I had the two dogs and then I had two cats. And so you get a lot of stuff on the carpets, and I'd always shampooed our carpets myself and whatever needed to be done. When he was still suffering from stage 4 throat cancer, it was about every third day I was shampooing it because I didn't want anything. I wanted to keep it as clean an environment for him as I could, because he also had an open wound, which is where his food tube went. So, that was a big thing with me every other day. Bedding and all that was replaced so that, he was not staying in well, that would be filth if you ask me. I still do that. I change bedding out on the third day at least. The pillows, everything gets washed because bed bugs do exist. Hey, Tassie, you don't need to be in. This is my Tassie. I think she wants, or he rather. I have to look because sometimes I forget who's who. But we had rescued these all four. There were four. I rescued one that was tangled up in the netting in the boat. And a week later, I went out and I saw three kittens, which were trying to eat whatever was left. And I had grabbed the mother with the first one. So here these babies were outside without the mom and starving to death. So I grabbed them. So we bottle fed those. We bottle fed Pixie. Fancy, our big one, just walked in one day when he was adolescent. We didn't throw him back out. He's fine. He's laying on the other side of the bar. We don't really tell them in most cases that they can't do this or that, which wouldn't do any good. They're cats, and when you go to sleep, they're right where you told them not to. So I found it's better to let them have their own spots, and then I know where they're going to be. So I can clean it. I put down, whatever, and they all have their little beds that they're used to too. So my house is almost, I should say, if there was a cat sitting here talking to me, I would get it. So yeah, I did a lot of shampooing, a lot of vacuuming. So now that I'm older, yeah, thank God he beat the cancer. I was still doing a lot, and my back is not good now. It happens. I'm just dealing with it. And so he ripped up all the boards. He painted the house. And, I mean, he ripped all the carpet. He put down hardwood floors, and I just adore him. That's when we got the bar. We condensed everything, and now I have a huge china cabinet that takes up half the room. And I keep getting people who come in going, "Wow, you still have china? People don't do that anymore." Oh, yeah. Like, do you really gonna go there, man? No, no. Most people may not. I know my children, both of the children. I have a stepdaughter, just a year or so younger than my son, and they're true sister and brothers. They could be both only children anyway. Uh, but both have told us we're not taking the china. Won't even take the silverware. It's pure silver. The problem being, even though it's pure silver, it's got to be cleaned. A special tarnish remover because silver tarnishes. And I have to do them at least once a year because I throw the Christmas dinner and I try to do a little bit of formal dining like I used to. And most of the stuff I've whittled down now. But there's a lot that I keep, a lot of stemware and so forth. So we just don't know yet who's going to Who's going to do what to where? This is what my son is trying to figure out because of his biological father passing over the holiday weekend. And he doesn't know if there's property or what have you that needs to be settled in. So he would have to go. And he can't, literally, he can't be out of away from his position because there's nobody to really replace him. He's that good. I'm so proud of him. I was the same way when I was in the workforce. If you wanted to replace me, you should took 2 to 3 people, and I had to train them. You're like, what the? How come you get 3? Just saying. It just doesn't seem quite fair. In any event, so I'm not sure I'm going to do a whole thing today. I'm tired. This so much going on that just indescribable today. I'm just grateful too if the cats have been picked up and the house is clean. Uh, I only have to do a little spot cleaning here or there. And I'm trying to figure out I wanted to do with the rest of my time. And then I remember, oh, there's the backyard and there's plants to move to the. And there are kittens and cats outside that I feed twice a day as well. Yes, it's expensive. It's just phenomenally expensive. But they seem to come and go. The older ones, they'll get the young ones, and I'll see them as they're like adolescent, and a few of the adult cats. And then I don't see the adult cats really anymore, maybe one that'll come in and out. They go all over the neighborhood. It's not bad. They don't feed them. And they're starving, they're hungry, they're thirsty, and they have no shelter. They're usually up underneath the RVs, one or the other, usually the one close to the fence, because they also used to stay in the greenhouse, especially during the winter. So my husband saved as many plants as he could after the tornado sent the tree into my glass greenhouse. Yeah, that was but it was, and it took out the back fence a little bit as well. Oh, Lord. But at the same time, it didn't hit the house and it didn't hit the neighbor's house, but for the love of God, it was just a foot or so from either one, really. It had to fall exactly where it did to do no damage and be short enough not to catch any wires. There's always 15 wires coming into a home. And so we were just fortunate, even though it took out the greenhouse, that the way it fell was sideways, kind of, but at an angle. And this is the second time that we've been hit with a tornado. This time it took out the greenhouse. The last time it took down another tree, and that hit the house a little bit in the back, not enough to hurt anything, but a little piece of the siding was out. And it destroyed the barbecue grill. It took out my dining table. We were lucky that it didn't take the chairs. I took out the umbrella. Those things are $80, $90 a piece. Not to mention the table. So we had to get another table. We had to get another barbecue. Uh, we had a gazebo up usually, and the last time it went down, we decided that was enough because there just wasn't enough of us to go out. We had both quit smoking, which was another reason we were outside. And yes, you will see me hit my wee cigar over here every once in a while because he allows me that. I usually have a vapor as well. And so I'm not really smoking, but I am cheating a little bit. Friend of ours was here and gave me one of his. I just was having drinks and decided I wanted one. Sometimes I'll do that too. I'm free, grown, all that. He doesn't have to say you can or can't because then I do it anyway. I ain't gonna lie about it. So, so I tried that, and it reminded me of Europe when I was over there. And I remember we called them cigarillos. I don't really know what the term really is. We always called it that. And it was the ladies would smoke those because we all had babies. And you could sit those down and they would go out. So you'd have to worry about, starting a fire or what have you. And it saved us a ton on cigarettes, which you were only given so much per month that you could get. They'd punch it for you. Yeah. I don't know what they do now. I don't know. My grandson used to smoke. He turned to vaping like we did a little bit before us. He's coming up on 26. It's hard to believe. I know. No, wait a minute. He's already 25. So actually, he has to come around to the next year. So, I don't know. like I said, regular news was absolutely depressing. I'm embarrassed for my country. That they say that they're, I don't know how to even put this in a round hole, that they find a former president guilty enough to take him to trial and then convict the man on 34 counts without a shadow of a doubt. They also want the cameras into the courtroom, so those of us out here can't go, wait a minute, that's a he said, she said thing. Who said what? It's called hearsay. He said, she said. It's hearsay. It's not, I mean, that means you can't really find it in without a shadow of a doubt. And yeah, I can't believe this. I could believe it if they also had Hunter Biden up there and had served Biden, the guy that holds the current title. It's really hard to say it and link it with him. I'm like, I would still, again, love to see Hillary's face when she found out she lost that with Trump. She's guilty of a lot of stuff, folks. Way guilty. I guess people don't remember Benghazi. Don't remember her wiping those computers and Blackberries. She was just cleaning. At the time, I couldn't believe that she wasn't charged with anything. She had illegal servers in an apartment complex in a bathroom, dealing with super secret shit. It was going through these kids, these college kids and shit. Nothing. She refused to let them go into Benghazi to defend them. She still refused them after they knew that they were dead. She did not allow anything in there. The people that went in were part of a security company or military company, that however you want to, whatever moniker you stick on them, they're black ops anyway. They went in and retrieved the bodies because they didn't need her ass permission. And her up there, well, what does it matter now anyway? I don't give a flip if it's been 30 years. It freaking matters. Nothing. Bill out at Epstein's Island. Not once, a bunch. Nothing. He did not have sex with that woman. Which one? Which one? They're also, I mean, I didn't even know what the 34 freaking charges are against the former president. When they absolutely made shit up the whole time he was in office. They did this to a 4-star general. Lost his home and everything trying to find it. Then when they found that he was not guilty, he still had to have the judge sign off that he was not guilty. That judge wouldn't let it go. He got a judge out of retirement so that the two of them could find a way to keep the case going. So he had to settle for a presidential pardon. Even though he'd been found not guilty, they all knew the stuff was false. All of it. But they sure took that man for a ride for 4 years. 4-star general. Do anybody know how hard that is? It's damned hard. And they accused him of betraying his country. In other words, what? Yeah. What? The whole time it's going on. That's what I said. What? Who, what, when, where, why, and how? Anybody can answer those 5 questions. You might have me in your camp, but they couldn't answer anything. And what they did finally come to light was A, the FBI was dirty. B, the CIA was dirty. C, the presidential candidates were dirty. I mean, there's just a list. And now we have 34 counts against a former president. Out of these people, this has been on a jury. From what I understood, they were standing down till Thursday, and the verdict came in already. So I don't guess they stood down. I can't believe there was not a shadow of a doubt in one of those 12 people about 34 counts, for crying out loud. And Epstein killed himself. Nobody was charged in that crime. You know, damn straight. That man didn't kill himself. He was in isolation. The only people that could get to him were the guards. The footage of that place disappeared. Guards were let go. So apparently you can only fuck up somebody's life, excuse me, if they're innocent in this country. And yeah, I expect them to have a damn fit when they see this one. We'll see if it flies. It's social Woodstock, folks. If you want to tell the truth, you want to hear the truth, come on. If you don't, bring it. Let's find out how good all of us really are about what's going on in this country. Are we Americans? We're not free. You're no way free. If you can take a four-star general's life and toss it in the toilet on trumped up charges that you know are made up and that the world knows you made up, finally. What the hell freedom is that? That guy fought for his country 40 years. 40 years or more. And they took him for a lousy ride. I mean, he lost everything, his home and everything. Where's the hue and cry? Where are the students protesting that? Where are the students protesting that a former president can be charged with anything anyway? Without a shadow of a doubt. Seems to me there's somebody should have been having a shadow of a doubt. 12 people, they all agree on 34 counts. Never heard of that. Never have I ever heard of that. And I tend to like law. Did my own divorce. Told me I should be an attorney. Wouldn't do it because they're all crooked. So is the system. You might get an honest judge if they're newly appointed to that position. If not, you're tossing the dice. Most police officers and sheriffs are God with a gun and a taser. And they will use it and kill you. And they did kill people. They're still killing people. And again, I think that's why they're being shot in the head. I wish that would stop, because not all of them are guilty. But there have been guilty ones who've been convicted even by their own body cams. That's the thing I don't get. They know it's being recorded. They know a camera's on their ass. It's still dirty. They're getting better. They're learning how to wipe those, like Hillary. That's blackberries. Where's that hammer, Hillary? We want that in your little museum or whatever it is you have out there. Yeah, these people came in there. They were broke as church mice. How many millions are there worth now? Anybody? Yeah. I noticed I used the term millions. That's you just can't get around that shit. So why is the law different for one than the other? Well, I know us hippies, come on, us baby boomers. I got like Chana. We know for decades that it's crooked, that the system's been broken, that there is no justice. What justice is there when a person has killed 15 children that they admit to? They're not only pedophiles or murderers, and they get 12 life sentences. What did those kids get? They got dead, unalive, as they say now. They got dead. So where was the justice for them? Where's the justice for the anguish the parents were going through? A mass murder of children? Pedophile? 20 years? Yeah. I've seen murderers get lighter sentences than those who are convicted of drugs. And right now in certain cities, you don't even have to post bail like New York. It's just if they arrest you. That's a big if. Try and call a cop in New York. Or in most of the major cities nowadays. In some of the major cities, they actually have sent flyers out to everybody, posted it on social media, meaning Twitter and Facebook, that not to call the police station because they're not going to respond. So if you have a car accident, you go to this number and they'll tell you what to do. If there's somebody breaking and entering your home, call this, hit number 2, and they'll tell you what to do. But they want to take your rights away to have a weapon of any kind. Well, I think that's a problem. I have a lot of weapons. Not like David Koresh. I don't want to be killed for that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't want y'all to kill me. So again, where is the justice? There is no justice. I've seen a couple of cases go all the way to the Supreme Court, which surprised me that anything got that far. But the ruling shocked everybody that even sent it up there. It's like the opposite of it. You really have to work at being not guilty or finding people not guilty. Uh, you really have to work hard to find that because they're guilty of sin. They've already said they're guilty of sin, and somehow it gets to the Supreme Court and they're not guilty. I don't get it. Anybody out there get it? Social media. We welcome anybody. I'm a coward. I'm up here, so come on, bring it on. At least show me if you like the content. You're considering thinking about it. I haven't pasted any of these into Facebook. I need to. Got too many hats, I'll tell you. I mean, I like a lot of hats. It's not that. I like to be in charge. It's like, damn, now they can't do the work. I crack myself up. I do that all the time. I have a laugh track. I've also heard yesterday, I think the day before as well, that they've come up with a nice little 2-page thing that says basically a sentence: we're bringing you back to school, or we're letting you back in school. One sentence. One sentence. They made a book out of that sentence. Hit that thing in so much language. They probably figured nobody'd catch on. It would just be word of mouth after that. No, we figured it out too. Most of us can read. It's the 21st freaking century, man. Everybody knows. Has anybody been up there to kick their butts? No. Is anybody up there telling these students they can't attend? No. How many Palestinians are there? Or are they all Antifa? They're certainly not all college, university students. There's a good sprinkling of them in there. You just can't fix stupid. And if I were the parents, I'd be in there trying to kick stupid's ass. Totally. You're not going to live after this. You need to call 911. Hit button 3. This is dial 3 for murdering. They didn't get to that far in the thing. They didn't say, well, if you're being murdered. It's just too much. So, I don't know. This is when I circle back to the religious part because I really can't find a way to say, no, it's not. I can't figure that out. For some reason, they have commercials that you can hear outside with a plane overhead. If somebody else could tell me, bring it, throw it in the chat, wait, put it in the comments. I don't care. Bring it. Tell me, how the hell I've seen 2 more plagues of locusts as well. Where am I going with that? I'd love to bloom and know. You end up in the Bible. I saw this on page. I love Trey Smith. Shout out Trey. He's wonderful. It's the God in a Nutshell project. You should check it. It's available completely online. He does a DVD and a book that's illustrated. It's beautiful. The books are beautiful. But he also has a DVD. He also allows us to stream it live. We can also stream it, period, if you don't catch it when he posted it, because he's been out there for years. And I just caught on in the last 2 years. And he's my go-to guy on religion. He's my go-to guy on what the Bible is, what it says, period. And he makes a lot of sense. And then I'm in there, like I said, reading it up. It's what? John 12. So I'm in there making sure that I heard this right. And so I will end up back today while I'm doing work. I'll have one of the TVs or both on to the same channel. And it's usually not a channel, it's YouTube, but I'm throwing Trey in there because he's got so many DVDs that I didn't catch up. So I'm doing this catch up thing. And he's very, very good. He really is. The Left Behind series is also a good one. I think it's Timothy something. I can't remember their names. I always just kind of get a wall there. I don't know why. I got all 28 of the books. I was going to get all of Trey's books, but at this point, I have a fairly extensive library. I have books that are over 200 years old. So I have an extensive library. We also have a lot of DVDs, and I didn't realize it till we had to pack them and put them in the pod while we did all this work. But there's a lot of them, and the kids don't want that shit either. So I asked my grandson, and there's a lot my grandson wants, and then my son realized that there were some that he wanted on the books. So they just don't either one want the whole library. And I was checking authors, and I was over at my son's house at the time. I wanted some author, I can't remember which one, and they were passed away. And each one, I was thinking of my line of books, how many I'd gotten and who was my favorite authors. They had all passed away. Not recently either. They had passed away in the 20th century, and I just started looking for them this year or last year. This thing's always in my way. So, yeah, I'm going to allow them to take so many of them, take the rest to one of the libraries. I still need to contact one of them to find out how I would go about leaving them to the library. You can put a little plaque up there. That'd be nice. Little baby. So, yeah, I got to do that. As far as the china and so forth, there's really nobody that wants a collection these days. There'd be very few, and they would have to probably have a lot of room and a lot of money, or at least a fairly good income, enough to be lower high class, at least, if not high class. Because, again, the kids from the lower rungs of the ladder, I should say, none of them want to be burdened with all of the china. They don't use it. I used it. I used it a lot. Thank goodness. I feel better about that. There's a 12-piece set that I bought while I was stationed in Germany, which is Royal Doulton, and it's very expensive china. And so my china is older than my son, who's 45 or will be this year. So the china is actually almost 50 years old with me. And so, and it's World Dude. It still is a very expensive china. And there are places up here that I'm sure are collectible because I've seen it. I've heard them say it. I do like watching those shows, but none of them want to be burdened with it. So that's something else I'm trying to figure out what to do. I'm thinking that maybe one of the museums house, there's one of the presidents, I think it's President Woodruff's home, childhood home, is here in Augusta. And of course, they display fine china, glasses, and silverware, and so forth. So I was thinking of donating it to something along that line if they wanted it. So I have to sit down on the phone. I just haven't done it. And now that my son's biological father has passed away, I'm thinking maybe I should pay more attention and set some things in motion so that they don't have to go through all that. Because my grandson and my son know what I want done with certain things. However, Robert's fairly stubborn. So if I go before him, there'll be some kind of discussion about things, I'm sure, which is acceptable, of course. I have a lot of jewelry, and I have two granddaughters. So I'm gonna try and divvy that up. But I have a lot of jewelry. I have a lot of jewelry. So, and some wonderful pieces that I have of those. There's some from the Cooper Pedy mine where opals were. They might still be coming out of Cooper Pedy, but they're very old. It's an old set, necklace, earrings, and a ring, which is so big I keep it on my thumb, but it's very expensive, so I tend to wear it. I think if you have jewelry, and I didn't up until I was in my 30s, and then my husband and I got married, and then we started paying and saving for paying jewelry for me, and for him it was always tools and guns, and so it turned out great for me. I got a lot of jewelry. It's going to turn out well for my granddaughters because they're going to have quite a bit of jewelry as well. I've always said if you have jewelry, you should wear it because tomorrow's not given, so you don't know because tomorrow you're not be there to wear it. So for me, and I have several of the tall jewelry boxes, and I love those. You get them in cherry wood usually, and they're all around the living room. So I finally got them all into the bedroom while we redesigned everything. So now the bedroom's kind of packed. But that's where I ended up with them, and they look good. I mean, it's just not that; it just makes the room feel smaller. But yeah, so every day I'm in here looking and see. Okay, I wore that for a couple of days. Let's put this back, put this on. So yeah, again, I think one should wear it. Where is you? It's on this side. I never get that wrong. Uh, and I love these little things here. I've got several of those that they'll be divided up. I think I need to order like one more, have one made, something along that line, because the girls need to have it. It needs to be the same, equal, 50% each of whatever I have. So I've been setting, I have all of the thing separated out into their own places. So I don't have to untie something or whatever. They're all in boxes, which take up quite a bit of room. For a long time, I just left the box like in a drawer or something, because they were already in a jewelry box. But I did try to start organizing that. And oh, Louise. So if anybody has any tips on that stuff, please throw in the comments. Now that I've gone way off course here. Um, I see my time is running. Luckily, they give us a timer up here. Tend to put on my glasses for that. And again, you guys subscribe, at Life Chance here. And I love that. I do. Um, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's an unusual thing for me to see on live chat. So those of you I don't see today, just throw it on there, and I will see you in the comments. I am going to wrap here quick enough because it's like I said, my time's almost up. So I've finished boring everybody today. If anybody wants to, again, throw it in the comments. It's entertainment purposes only, but to me, it's social Woodstock, and I want to hear from the hippies/baby boomers. I always put that in there because everybody says, nobody says hippie, really. They seem to think that that's a addicted idiot or something if you say you're a hippie. No, I was a hippie when hippies were cool. We had muscle cars. I had a Camaro, a 68 Camaro, super sport. I was kicking it. Yeah, with the hot pants and bell bottoms and free love. I mean, it's not that I believe you should sleep around, but you can love everybody if you get a chance. It's better than making an enemy. It just, I don't need enemies. Got enough of those. So I really do. Yeah, I kid myself. Any event, I said I wasn't going to come up here today, and I still made it up here today. Come see me. Those of you who are with me, I love you guys. Thanks for coming up. Everybody that's going to come in, I appreciate every one of you so very much. May God keep all of you safe. Again, tomorrow's not a given. I hope to see you here then. And for now, toodles.